I've decided not to leave this town. Maybe I can stay and find some other nice people who will like me and accept me for who I am.
Trusting your spirit, yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I just want to go back.
Yo, I'm on whenever you're ready.
Hey, looks like I was early to the party. Yeah, man.
Are we broadcasting?
Yeah. What's good? My
Long day after a long couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I had like a nervous breakdown. I think my mic is super loud. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm getting some echo, like some reverb.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was recording something. All right, that should be better. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was recording a song for my girlfriend because I have no money to give her a proper Valentine's Day gift. So yeah. I had to, go back to high school and write her a song.
Nice.
What are you doing for the horrible V-Day?
Nothing.
That's
got no ladies in my life at the moment.
Oh, that's probably good. I really don't like the holiday. I think it's one of those Hallmark holidays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, honestly, I don't know. I've dated some girls where it was like, actually, I love taking them out, and this is an excuse for us to do that. And I always enjoyed it. When you're with the right person, it's a lot of fun.
You know how I know you're gay? I mean, not that there's anything wrong with being gay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm. No, it's fun, man. You gotta get out there. It sucks when you're broke, but
Yeah. Well, I don't like the idea that I need to, like, I have to. I want to be able to just do it when I want to, but I don't like this holiday being a designated day where I have to do something, and then the expectation is that I have to do something.
I agree with that 100%. But the caveat to that is that it gets harder and harder too as you get older to like make time for that stuff, and so at least Valentine's Day kind of forces you. It can be a good thing.
I think
I'm not
most definitely that makes it make way more sense. But then there's also like my male privilege, right? Like I have the privilege of being responsible for planning the day.
Yeah, it's so great, that male privilege. The privilege of being drafted in the military against your will, and
totally.
The privilege of paying a woman's rent after she divorces you.
Yep.
What privileges?
Oh man, I'm totally gonna get marked for being a conservative asshole.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm not even a conservative, just so everybody knows.
If your channel ever gets monetized, it just got demonetized right there.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. Speaking of which, the channel might change a little bit. We might have.
You firing me?
No. So I'm. So my co-host Jet on Tuesday has a job now, and yeah. So we might be doing a little bit of consolidation. I think Thursdays is a great hour. I liked our dynamics last week, and I think it'll just make sense to like put us all together, and have it all in one day.
Yeah, I agree. I think that makes a lot of sense, and it takes a lot of pressure off of any one of us to have to come up with topics or carry the conversation, and it just
yeah. It takes some pressure off of me too, it started to become quite a bit. Also with trying to like schedule people, like interviews and stuff. It's just easier. I got my hand. Yeah. I'm just making sure that the camera doesn't have an angle on me while I scratch my balls.
Show the people what they want to see, man.
I don't know if people want to see that. Whatever. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I hope my mic's not too super loud. The sound has been all fucked up since I recorded today. Hold on.
It's good from over here.
Yeah, I just know Discord has its own like way of handling the audio afterwards. Okay, let's get into it. Where am I? Where's my life? Not bad. Hey. All right. Something I really want to do really quick is just kind of go to Google Trends for a minute. I always find it really interesting to just randomly pop in there and see what's happening. You know?
Yeah, I've never really looked at it, honestly.
Oh, it's the funnest thing in the world, man, because you can look up trending searches. You can look at examples, right? Like, what is this? Interest in subregions for Taylor Swift and Kim Kardashian, and there's a comparison here. So you can see that Taylor Swift is much more popular over, at this point in time and earlier in the month than Kim Kardashian. It's interesting that the spikes occur at relatively the same time. That's really weird.
Such a weird data point to track.
Yeah. What? Interest?
No, in Taylor Swift or Kim Kardashian.
Oh, hey, it was just an example, I guess.
Google is quite possibly the greatest invention in human history, and we're using it to track who's more popular between a pop star and a reality TV
Well, you can also look at the year and searches, right? So like you could take a look at like trending searches right now, and that's what I kind of wanted to do. So Sonic the Hedgehog is now at the top for today, right now.
I saw some good ratings on it, dude.
What's Guillotine's Day?
I don't know. Is it Guillotine's Day?
Yeah. What?
Oh, Galentine's Day. Yeah.
The fuck is a Galentine's Day?
It's the ladies' holiday right before Valentine's Day. It's from Parks and Rec.
Oh, I don't watch that show. I know everybody does.
It's a good show.
I know everybody says it's a good show.
It's like a kind of stupid, cheesy sitcom, but like done well. You know what I mean?
Sure. Hey, Jeff Bezos. Oh, what?
It's the best show.
Jet's here. What's happening?
Yeah.
Parks and Rec. Yeah.
Parks and Rec.
Galentine's
Day.
I want to be like Ron Swanson when I grow up.
Treat yourself.
How is Tiger Woods still up on searches right now? Like what has recently occurred? Tiger Woods on the verge of history and still tinkering. I don't get that. Dude, it's just so random, but this is like a snapshot of the human consciousness, like what everybody else is like thinking about right now in the world.
I know. It was so sad that the number one thing is Taylor Swift.
No, right now it's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad.
It always says Taylor Swift though. Whenever you do trends.google.com, because I do that a lot for my site, and I see Taylor Swift and Kim Kardashian every time I do it. So I'm trying to think if that's like an example or if that's real.
It is
Yeah,
just
that's gotta be what it is.
it is an example. See, it says or start with an example, and then they give you a couple of them. But like that's, you know, that's what they're doing. Speaking of Jeff Bezos, where is it? Did you know he had a girlfriend? Like, he got a divorce, but he had a girlfriend. He was dating this lady.
Yeah, she's pretty fucking. She's smoking hot, man.
She's a reporter.
I know. Yeah. I know. I thought I put it in the schedule. I don't know what the fuck happened to it.
Google Jeff Bezos' girlfriend.
I know. I just, you heard a lot about the divorce. I just didn't even see that he had like a girlfriend. But she is smoking. I mean, Lauren Sanchez. Yeah, she's super fun. She's a reporter, right? He just bought a house in which, he's probably going to spend a lot of his spare time with his bangable wife in.
Yeah, she's like, the girlfriend is like 50 years old too.
Wait, she's 50?
Yeah. And
How old is Jeff?
Still, I would say he's probably around that age too. She's still that hot though. I mean, look at her.
Holy cow.
It gives you hope that you could have a hot chick when you're 50.
If you have the most money in the world.
Pick the right girl right now. You got to play the long game.
Yeah, you got to play the long game. Oh my goodness. Well, I hope I'm pretty sure I picked I picked for the long game. I had this issue when I was dating girls. Like, if I was on a date with a girl or seeing this girl and she, like, there's little things, some people have like a weird aversion to like the big toe or like, you know what I mean? For me, I can't help thinking, like, looking at people's bone structures and wondering what they're going to look like when they're older. Do you know what I mean? Weird. Yeah, it's really weird. And then I can't get it out of my head, right? So, like, I dated this girl in, like, after high school, and we lived in LA with each other for a little bit. But she was, like, thick boned, man. You know what I mean? And when you get older, everything kind of exaggerates, right? So I have to picture whoever I'm with like exaggerated features, and if I'm okay with that, and I just, the thick bones, man, freaked me out. I was like, oh crap, you're gonna be thick, like too thick. Too thick. And then that's also my fear with like big boobs, right? Like I'm all about big boobs, but like big boobs and like, when you're like 60, 50, they're going to be a little bit different. Like big natural boobs is what I'm talking about.
Exactly. Natural. You want them small and perky,
Yeah, and then that way, as they get older, they get a little bit bigger, maybe they drop a little bit, and then it's all good.
Yeah.
Or fake boobies.
Yeah, or you're Jeff Bezos, and you can just build a woman. That chick has got tons of plastic surgery.
Yeah, she does.
By the time we're 50, we're going to have, robot girls. We won't have to worry about that shit.
Yeah, they're coming, man. True. I've seen a lot of that going on. Anyways, let's talk about this for a minute. Elon Musk, the future of high-speed internet. This is one of yours, buddy.
This one. This looks really fucking exciting to me. So I can't remember. I put it on the schedule for one episode. I can't remember if we actually got around to talking about it, but
we definitely did not.
Starlink is Elon Musk's basically his idea. It's a part of SpaceX right now. It's his idea to launch a bunch of like miniature satellites into the atmosphere and sort of encircle the globe in mini satellites, and then use those to create an internet service provider all across the planet, basically. And so you would reach, areas that have slow internet speeds or no internet at the moment, with speeds that are, faster than what we have now, almost up to 5G speeds, and at a fraction of the cost. So the idea is really fucking awesome. And they came out, I can't remember if it was this week or last week, but they came out recently, very recently, and announced that their plan is to spin off Starlink out of SpaceX into its own company, and then probably take it public.
Great.
Yeah.
The sky is not the limit with Elon Musk, man. It's kind of crazy. It's nuts. This is a great idea. We should have been talking about this. He's doing the things that we all like. At least for me, I've always felt we should have been doing, right? Why aren't we doing this, right? He's doing those things, right? Like satellites for internet, electric cars. Like these are like, to me, have always made a lot of sense, and I've wondered why we aren't doing this. And even when I step into a Tesla, I'm wondering why aren't all cars like this? He's doing it. It's amazing.
Yeah, for sure. And he keeps winning, man. He keeps fucking winning. Even when it looks like he's stretched himself too thin and it's all going to come tumbling down, somehow he like pulls it together. Like there's been so many moments where it's like, oh fuck, this is it. It's all going to come crashing down, and somehow he does it. And like I think he's just proven time and time again that you should not bet against Elon Musk.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it looks like we're going to have an opportunity to invest in a new company here pretty soon. New company of his. That's a really fucking awesome idea. Benjamin, the idea is Elon Musk is launching satellites into space, miniature satellites into space. He's going to cover the planet in satellites and then use them to provide super fast internet at a really low competitive price.
Yeah. Speaking of 5G, can I just interject really quick and like backtrack? So like, we always get on here and we say, how you doing? And right now I'm like pretty pissed off. So I went to go claim my unemployment, right? And I did it on a VPN, and I got an email from them saying like, your shit's under investigation, and we need your telephone records, your debit card your like bank account statements, your passport. Take a picture of all the pages in your passport. We need all this stuff.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, listen, like, how are you going to hold my shit because I accidentally did it on a VPN? Like, that's no way to verify whether somebody's in the country or not, Also, yeah. My bank statement, I don't do any spending on my bank statement, right? Like, I don't spend with a debit card. I do digital transfers from account to account, and then Yeah. Hello?
Jet?
He looks like he was gonna speak, and then it looks like he doesn't have sound. I don't know. Anyways, then so I only do account to account, and also I spend all of my credit cards, all of it. You know what I'm saying? And then I pay the bill I pay it off at the end of the month, right? And then second, my phone is a prepaid phone. I paid for the whole year. I don't have to worry about my telephone bill each month. It's fucking great. But with all prepaid phones, they don't give you a phone record. So I can't provide you a phone record, I can only provide, out of everything you asked, I could just provide a passport. But yeah, no, 5G got me thinking about my telephone bill and how, I only pay $15 a month for prepaid for the whole year, and I don't have phone transactions. I don't really need them, to be quite honest. The only people who want it is you, New York. Fuck.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say that they thought you were on vacation. That's why they suspended your money.
I mean, there's. How do I?
Real.
Huh?
They're real sticklers. They're real sticklers for that kind of stuff.
I know, but relying on a VPN to determine whether somebody is on vacation or you know what I mean? It makes no fucking sense.
It's probably
they're
just
not technical people.
No.
Yeah,
they're not.
It's probably just that the system wasn't able to identify your IP address, and so it freaked out and
I know
wasn't able to verify that it was you, and so the minute that happened, it triggered all of this response. I bet if you call them and explain.
Well, I tried to call them, and the number that they have kind of brings you in this loop, and you can't talk to an actual person.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it really sucks. Anyways, John McAfee posted this thing about the CIA, and there's this article from The Guardian. CIA controlled the global encryption company for decades, says report. It's called Crypto AG. It was a company out in Europe, I think, or Germany, whatever. It's interesting that to see this the CIA be a part of some encryption company, making the promise that we're going to encrypt your data, but they secretly have a backdoor to everything, right? It brings me to kind of some of the conspiracies within VPNs and also with crypto itself, right? So it'd be really interesting to know, out of all the crypto projects that are out there, which one does the government have a hand in? There's got to be one.
Yeah, that's a good question.
And maybe they're just they're making the promise of this is. The thing is, a lot of them are open source, but some of them are pretty centralized. You just never know. You never know. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
You think Bitcoin really, Benjamin? You think Bitcoin is the project? I thought about it for a minute, and I was just I'm not sure about Bitcoin because, it's that was the first mover, But I can see, something like Cardano or one of these other, XRP is trying to be the regulated bank, happy company protocol for banks. I could see them having a hand in that, maybe.
Could
sorry.
Be Bitcoin. Could be a grand conspiracy with Bitcoin.
A grand conspiracy to capture illegal activities with cash.
Could be.
Could be a grand experiment. Most of my articles going forward are kind of surrounding the, different countries that are ramping up for digital currencies of their own. So it could be that, maybe Bitcoin was a fat experiment by the government so that they could try and digitize everything. I don't know. Speaking of which, Andrew Yang left his campaign. He suspended it. Did you see that?
Yeah, he dropped out.
Yeah.
Dropped out of the race.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right after the show on Tuesday, I was
Yeah.
like, damn, we just missed that topic.
Yeah.
That's your boy. How do you feel about that, Mr. Twarsky?
Me? I mean,
Yeah.
I can't say that it wasn't unexpected. I think that what he did was great, and I think that I'm just really not looking forward to what happens next. Nobody else seems to really make sense to me, so I think maybe I'm gonna be for Trump. I don't know.
He's probably gonna win again.
For sure. Yeah. It's like, I think it's like a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
I think that's what the impeachment was all about. I mean, they knew they're not gonna win. They're not gonna beat him. They can't match his support. So it's like, the impeachment was like a last-ditch effort to put the Dems back in power or whatever, Mike Pence, and then, I don't know, try and screw him over. But
What?
I don't know. That's my theory.
Who's Greta Thunberg?
You don't know who
Climate
Greta Thunberg
change.
is?
I don't know names. Also,
She's the
this looks
little-
like
She's the little Swedish girl. Well, she's not that little. She's like in high school or something.
she looks mean, dude. What the hell?
She's from like Switzerland or Sweden or some shit like that. She's become like the face of climate change in the last like 6 months.
What? Why?
Yeah, you haven't heard about this? Look up the "How dare you" meme. How dare you? She gave some speech at the UN and she like was like chastising older generations for allowing climate change to happen, and she does this whole thing. How dare you? And it's become this awesome meme.
All right. I can't with this, man. I can't. This is.
These memes are hilarious.
I can't, man. I'm just. It makes me cringe to see super young people get very impassionate and angry at others.
Yeah, I mean, like my gut check response is like, cool, that's good for you that young people are getting involved. But what gets a little troublesome and scary is when they get super big like this and they start getting taken advantage of by politicians and nonprofits.
Does look like she aged 30
foundations.
years. She looks
And all
old,
that shit.
man.
She does. She was like 17 or 16 or something like that.
I think she has Asperger's or something. She has some kind of disability. I'm
Well, I
not
mean,
sure
she
exactly
clearly
what it
can
is.
make her eyes red. I don't know. Okay.
But yeah, they get taken advantage of because they get super big and super popular, and so they get used by these organizations, and then a year later, no one gives a shit about them anymore, so they just get like their whole life gets fucked. It's almost
Yeah.
like a child.
Well, and I feel like somebody they're also vulnerable to somebody else influencing their thoughts, and yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. Just not for me,
She'll probably end up being against climate change, like when she comes of age. Like that's what usually happens. They go the total opposite once they become of age.
I have a
She's
tendency.
gonna go to college and become a petroleum engineer.
Yeah, something like that.
I have a tendency to kind of agree with Andrew Yang that it's probably too late, and we need to start thinking more drastically.
Climate change? I don't
Yeah.
know.
This is the first. Oh, I have the same, not the same article, but I think I put it in. This is one of my topics too. This is the first fast radio burst known to have a steady beat. So we're receiving radio signals from space.
Yeah.
And we do it all the time, but like this one is consistent. and nobody knows where it's coming from, but it gives scientists a tremendous opportunity to really study it, because it's a consistent beat, just consistent frequency. So they can really dig in, because now they have kind of a control to work off of.
It's Palpatine, man. Palpatine's coming back.
Yeah, for sure.
He's coming back with his clones or whatever the fuck was the movie.
He's raising the Death Stars.
God damn.
The Star Destroyers.
I mean, what makes it even more difficult about like, even if this is not, this radio wave might not be part of extraterrestrial life, but what if it is? Like, it's really hard to fathom what's on the other end, right? Like, it could be a whole, like, intelligence could be a whole different thing than what we know intelligence to be. Their bodies could be made of metal. They might not have bodies. They maybe, their brains are like light waves and mirrors. I don't know,
Yeah, for sure. So I pinned 2 articles, I think, on this one. And the other article has a line where they're talking about it. And, this is just the journalist who wrote this, so it's not coming from scientists. But he says something like, this may help scientists discover the machine that's behind fast radio bursts. And so when I read that,
they made the assumption that it's a machine.
Well, I think it's sort of, artistic license, but
okay.
Just the fact that he said it, that's always my go-to. Is this something out there? Like, because we shoot radio signals out into space.
Yeah.
But is someone with maybe slightly more advanced technology than us able to shoot their radio waves further?
What if it's a planet? What if it's a planet and that's the way the planet is communicating? What if it's a planet? What if it's a what if the way they communicate is through radio frequencies instead of vibration? Well, actually, radio frequencies and vibrations are the same thing. But I guess like Superior FM. Hey man, what it do? I can now see your chat because I finally fixed YouTube chat. Yeah, man, this is some trippy stuff. I'm excited to see what they do with it. I wish that I could be alive for another 200 years just to see what happens with all the space exploration that we're embarking on.
We might, dude. We might. Have you heard of the singularity?
No.
Google the singularity. So Google defines it as a point at which a function takes it. Oh, no, that's not what I'm looking for. Here it is. Technological singularity. Technological singulator, or also simply referred to as the singularity, is a hypothetical future point in time at which technological growth becomes unstoppable and irreversible, resulting in unforeseeable changes to human civilization. So it's typically referred to like as the point where we merge with technology on some level and essentially become immortal to some degree.
Oh my God, I've been so excited for this. You don't even know. Brain in the jar technology, bro. That's what I want.
They do that in this X-Men comic that came out like last year. Kind of like the storyline is kind of like that. Like they basically merge with these machines, like the Sentinels or whatever. Like if you ever watch X-Men, you know the Sentinels, but like these futuristic versions of the Sentinels, and like they merge humans with the Sentinels, and they become like machine-minded, and basically it ends up being the machines completely take over, and they merge with some other machine civilization. So I could see that happen.
Yeah, man. It's going to be awesome. And then you think about it this way, right? Like we fight for resources all the time. If we are part of a network, or if we're embedded in something, or if we're just brains in a jar that get fed by like robots and whatever, You know, you want a steak, you want a burger, eat as much as you want. You're not going to change physically. You know, I'm a big fan of the Matrix.
Me too.
I want
Me
to
too.
be in the Matrix, bro.
So bad. I want the blue pill, dude. So bad.
You're Cypher, man. You're like Cypher. Ignorance
I
is
know.
bliss.
Yep.
What is this, Ben Shapiro?
Voiceover in Davos. His 17-year-old Greta
was
Thunberg.
this
I know,
me?
she's 17.
No. This is what Benjamin sent over.
But she's actually
Oh,
a 17-year-old.
yeah.
That does not mean she's an adult. It means she's a public figure.
All right, we can't watch the whole thing, man, but I'll definitely save this for later.
I love that he watches Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro's awesome.
Yeah, he can be. I've seen a couple of stuff where I'm just like, man, I don't know. But
I think he takes on a little bit of like an asshole-ish persona, just because it's kind of like his brand.
Sure.
But
hey, Brick, thanks for following. I finally got an alert from a follower. That's nuts. I'm stoked.
I watched a debate between him and Blair White about like gender pronouns and whatnot. It was pretty interesting.
oh,
Yeah.
really?
After last week's discussion, yeah, because I had no idea who Blair White was, so I was looking up some of her political videos and found this one with her and Ben Shapiro.
Video game ETFs, huh? We were talking a little bit about this. They are in growth mode. How are they in growth mode? I'm surprised that it's just now coming out too.
Yeah, they're. This article goes pretty deep into. There's like 4 or 5 different funds, I think. And it goes pretty deep into like the differences, their strategies. Just like generally what's going on with them.
Yeah.
It's just kind of interesting to see like we've talked about it I think a couple of times now.
Yeah.
And, to get more of an in-depth look, this was pretty interesting. But basically, like, it's just they have a completely different way of evaluating ETFs, like specifically for video games. But because they're so new, I think the oldest one is only 5 years old. So most of them are 2 years or younger, and so you can't. The traditional way of evaluating one's performance is just like through historical performance, year over year, and they can't really do that with these funds. So they have to go based on strategy and allocations and so on and so forth. And so it was just kind of interesting.
Well, that ETFs don't always pan out and they can die, right? Like I've seen a couple of ETFs die last year, one of which I owned, and anytime you invest in an ETF, it's just as risky as like investing in like a company. Maybe even more so risky unless you're doing it with the S&P 500.
Right.
But like these like sideshow ETFs, even with video games, right? Like, so you're talking about finding different metrics to measure success or the potential success of something like a video game ETF. But like video game companies are even difficult to kind of evaluate because it's not like you have Apple's nice because they rarely make updates. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not like they have to continuously churn out like some like eye-catching brand new thing, right? They're strictly running off of like numbers and what's the word? Momentum. And like even with car companies, it takes a long time for them to get to like the next build, and like innovation there is really slow too. But with video games, you're literally just like it's like investing in a musical artist or something like that, and he's gonna like make a hit every year for 20 years. And like that's how video, like I mean, EA is a publisher. They contract out other companies to build their video games now,
Right.
but
different studios.
yeah, you're basically just you're giving money to somebody like EA to kind of prune through all that shit and present something good and market it well.
Yeah, EA is responsible for the business side of things, but this is more than that. This is also esports. This is
Okay.
all
Okay.
different kinds. So
Oh,
this
okay.
is just this is when they say video game, they mean like video game space. So
Right.
yes, it does include video game companies, but
Right.
it also includes companies that make, say, software that support video game companies.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So, like,
Gotcha. Okay.
software development companies that are building, graphics engines and stuff
Right.
like that.
Right. And esports will be a big one, man. It'll be a big one.
Yeah, esports was the big one, and so so that was, I think, the interesting part of this article to me was like, so that's the play, or that's the plays that you're evaluating, right? You want to go with the companies that are banking on, the video game side of things, the product side, or you go with the companies that are splitting it between product and like support, or do you want to go with the companies that are, part video game, part esport? Like, how do you see the market unfolding?
Bro, if I had to put this together, I'd focus on platforms, tooling, and anybody facilitating, and maybe publishing, as like, with a small holding in publishing. And I wouldn't even touch anything that's directly a video game, studio shop or whatever. I would.
I might add esport, a little bit of esport to that.
Yeah, I think that's what I meant by facilitating.
Gotcha.
Anybody who's like facilitating and tooling, like that could be like all the equipment that's like made for gaming, and all the software that's made for gaming.
Invest in the shovels.
Yeah, invest in the shovels, man. They made the most during the gold rush. The people who made tools. Hey, Jet, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just listening.
Okay. All right. I wanted to give you a chance to talk, but just in case. So I know we were talking about like blockchain voting the other day, or like a few weeks back, and so I saw this. Apparently, there was some error in a mobile app that was talked about during the Iowa caucus, and I just think it's a funny word, man. And it kind of re-brought up this article where they're talking about blockchain voting, and it makes a lot of sense because it's immutable, right? Like you can't change it once it's in there. That's inherent by nature. But anybody who's trying to do this is going to face a lot of challenges. For one thing is like, how do you keep it decentralized? So Bitcoin, if you don't know, is subject, and many proof of work POW type mining is subject to 51% attacks, right? So if somebody owns like 51% of the network, they could go in there and start changing things across the network and approving votes, right? So say like Russia decided to take 51% of like all the decentralized servers for voting and then go in there and change a block. They could do that. There are a lot of challenges here, and then also how do you you'd have to create a separate system for identification outside of that. But I mean, overall, I think this would be the future of voting. But it would make it much easier for like people who don't normally participate in voting, because they don't go out of their way to like go vote on paper, to just vote with their phones, which I think would be amazing.
These fucking idiots couldn't get a basic app to work.
These guys?
Not these guys, the Iowa caucus.
Oh, yeah. I heard they had like an error in the how much it was reporting, right?
I mean, there was a shit ton of errors, all kinds of errors.
Like what?
They had errors that where the app was saying, on one end, on like the end, like the district end, it was saying that they sent the results, they were good, but the results actually weren't getting to the central caucus location. There's errors where they were reporting results, but the results were skewed. They counted incorrectly.
Yeah, both of those would have been fixed with a blockchain, for sure. But
no, I'm just saying, like, blockchain is like another step up in terms of leveraging technology.
Honestly, I don't think that they should have been fucking with creating a voting app without blockchain. That is scary to me. Situations like this occur. It's just not suitable. The technology without it is not suitable for votes, especially on something so important.
This whole process was completely corrupt. Several of the politicians had invested in the company.
I think the company was also associated, I think, with like Hillary Clinton's campaign.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In 2016.
For prior campaign.
Right.
People.
I mean, we shouldn't be fucking with this. Like, you know what I mean? Unless a blockchain is involved. Otherwise, I just don't see it working.
Yeah. And it definitely should be independent. I mean, regardless, if you're going to do any type of technology.
Right. Well, at least transparent, right? So, like, all these blockchain projects, for the most part, are like open source and transparent. So, like, anybody can go in there and see it, and then anybody can also go in there and see all the votes if they were on a blockchain.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the rest of my shit is pretty crypto heavy. So I'll try to run through them as quickly as possible. This is huge. So investors like institutional investors are buying Ethereum at a 280% premium right now.
Wow.
And that's because Grayscale is offering them, quote, shares of a trust. But, and then that way institutional investors don't have to worry about getting a wallet or going through some service to like buy it all up. You know what I mean? They could just buy shares from the trust. And so right now, 280%, 87%, which is pretty crazy. If you think about it, their goal is probably to double their money at least. So,
so they're paying nearly triple what it's currently trading at. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Wow.
I mean, I could see why they think it's a okay trade-off, but Ethereum's made some big moves lately. I don't have it linked here, but JP Morgan, there's like a rumor that they're going to be kind of contributing to an Ethereum, what is it, group? I can't think of the term right now, but they'll be contributing and maybe merging some of that and using some of their technology. They have been, and so is Amazon, and all major companies are exploring Ethereum. I see job offerings for Ethereum developers all the time. So to institutional people, they're starting to see like some fundamental development coming into play into this year, where Ethereum 2.0 is coming in, and then also the pre-established partnerships and associations with major companies using the technology. So, on top of that, plus the decentralized finance that has run up to like an obnoxious amount of money now. I don't know what DeFi Pulse says about how much money is in there right now. 1.16 billion. Now, Yeah, wow, over this month alone, it's like increased dramatically. But yeah.
The market cap?
Yeah, well, no, it's just, no, not the market cap. This is like value that's locked into decentralized finance projects.
Oh, yeah, this thing, I remember this.
Right, yeah. So this is like the overall of all these like companies. It's a lot. I think when we were talking about it, it was last month, and it was like teetering around like, 100 million something. But over the past month, since the beginning of the month, they've really grown astronomically.
These dollar amounts are the amounts they have invested in Ethereum, or they're the supposed values of the companies?
So when you do decentralized finance, you put down like a measure. You put down some assets as collateral for the most part, right? And so these companies will either give you interest or they'll give you a loan. And so this measurement, the locked value, is how much is in those like accounts that people have like stowed away. And that's how much that these companies are kind of like holding in monies.
Got it.
So it's not
in terms of the assets that they've
right.
They've put
Right, and that can mean Bitcoin, that can mean Ethereum, that can mean stablecoin, which is cash. So it can mean all that stuff combined together. And so probably as the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum increase, this dollar amount also increases. But speaking of which, Coinbase also started doing leverage trading, margin trading. I don't know what the advantage is for a Coinbase starting to do this. It says it's no 100 times leverage trading, which is what BitMEX does. You can trade Lux. You can trade 100 times on the margin, which is insane. I don't know if you've done margin trading before.
No, but I mean, I understand it from a high level. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, lots of people got burned. So they used to have this. I wonder if it's still out. There's this Twitter account called like BitMEX Wrecked, and it's basically a bot that goes through BitMEX and looks at all the leverage trades, and BitMEX Wrecked. Oh no, it's not there anymore. But yeah, it was basically this account that posted and, quote, immortalized all trades on BitMEX. This is not it, but like basically, so anytime somebody got liquidated, you would see a post like liquidated 1 million shares at whatever price. And you'd see people like lose like hundreds of thousands of dollars completely liquefied,
Jeez.
Millions of dollars liquefied. It was the funniest thing to watch, dude. Wake up and just watch BitMEX Wrecked. Oh shit. Anyways, China has opened up a shit ton of patents. Not a shit ton, but 80 patents for their digital currency plans, and I'm behind a paywall. Fuck it. But basically, they're taking it really seriously. They're spending a lot of money. They have 80 patents, if I remember what I read earlier correctly. 80 patents for digital currency, and they're moving pretty fast on it. And we know that Japan is doing it as well, and Jerome Powell talked about it during his address, and I think he is concerned that we are behind pace with China on this. So he's been talking about. I know this article says that Jerome Powell confirms crypto threat or whatever. I don't think he exactly said that, but he did hint that it was probably a risk. and that we probably need to consider a digital currency to compete with somebody like China or Japan. Which is scary. It's really scary. This is what, remember our conversation last week where I told you why I left Bitcoin? Is because anybody who gets there, who rolls out a digital currency plan, means they have full control over like the currency, full control. So like if the U.S. rolled out their digital currency, you don't have to print anything. They can keep track of literally every cent. It's going to be crazy. They'll just have complete control, and that could be good and that could be bad.
Yeah, I don't see that. I mean, it's definitely not good if China does it, but
well, if the world decides that China's new digital currency is now going to become the world currency, the dollar is going to suffer dramatically.
I can't see that happening. I don't see that happening without a world.
Without a what?
A world war.
I mean,
you think the U.S. is going to let its
what is it going to do? What is it going to do? These all
go to war. It's going to go to war.
So we're going to be so.
There's never been a transition of power on that scale.
Yeah.
Throughout human history.
Yeah, it has.
Without massive.
We moved away in the 1970s. We moved away from gold to fiat. And the dollar became the standard.
The U.S. chose to do that. The U.S. is the dominant economic powerhouse on the globe.
But everybody has decided that the U.S. dollar is like what they are going to trade against. Right. They can also decide that they don't want to trade with that no more. But like the problem has always been that like nobody wants to fucking take that responsibility.
Right, and the U.S. likes that responsibility. If it was something like the pound, I don't think that the U.S. would think it's that big of a deal. But if China comes out with a digital currency that it controls, and then the rest of the world says, all right, fuck you, United States, we're going to go with this thing, there's no way the U.S. is just going to bend over and take it. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, but like
I don't think the rest of the world would get on board with that either.
Yeah, I don't think the rest of the world is going to do that either. I agree.
But nobody really trusts China and their currency.
Sure. But
besides, they're like all zombies.
China might not be the one to do it. It could be another country that does it.
Yeah, it would have to be another country for sure.
Or
like the EU or something.
I mean, Bitcoin is already that alternative right now. It's more global and independent from any of these countries. So I know in some countries they're definitely using it over their own currency and over the U.S. dollar. But those are like poorer countries that are doing that.
Yeah, that's probably countries that are indebted to China.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, see, it's part of the Belt and Road Initiative. I didn't see that line until just now. China's Belt and Road Initiative is a bunch of bullshit. It's their way of trying to become the next global powerhouse.
Yeah, I wouldn't underestimate China, because after seeing what they were in the 80s, coming from like almost a third world communist, like manufacturing type company to what they are today, I would not underestimate the way they grow and pivot.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I agree, but like I said, I mean, if it comes down to it, you're talking about a world war. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not just going to happen peacefully. That the U.S. is not going to let that stand.
So they're going to be like, hey, you can't use that currency, and if you don't use our money, we're gonna terrorize their people. I don't know. They'll come up with an excuse, is what you're saying?
They're gonna do something. They're gonna sanction them. They're gonna do something to force China's hand to make the first move, and then they're gonna go to war. The U.S. likes to have the moral high ground, but it'll ultimately be the United States that is implementing.
That'd be a huge conspiracy, man. That'd be huge.
But I mean, we're kind of moving in that direction, anyways. Either China's going to fail, and sort of slow down, or we're on track for a world war. I mean, that's my opinion. Like, at some point, this has to. China, you're right. Don't take China for granted. Like, but if they keep going at the pace that they're going, at some point they're going to pass the U.S. and the U.S. is not going to take that lightly.
Yeah. Well, the U.S. better catch up. Fuck.
We just better hope we're too old to get drafted when it happens.
Well, or that women get drafted too.
Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, did you hear about this? Speaking of which, women getting drafted, the Equal Rights Amendment, or ERA, was ratified recently by the state of Virginia. So the Equal Rights Amendment's been around for decades, and they want to ratify it and make it a part of the Constitution.
What?
And this has been going on since the 70s.
Yeah.
They put forth the amendment back in the 70s, but they didn't get enough states to approve it.
Yeah.
And then, as of a couple months ago, Virginia approved it. And so there's been talk about whether or not this is going to get added to the Constitution. But it looks like, some legal scholars have come out and said that it's probably not, because the deadline passed, in the 80s. But there's been talk about restarting this thing and adding an amendment to the Constitution. That amendment would be that it's illegal, constitutionally illegal, to discriminate based on sex or gender or something. Basically, so that would mean that women have to get drafted. Women can't get alimony and divorce. Women can't, don't automatically get custody of children in divorce. A lot of these privileges that females have in certain situations, all of that stuff could get moved if this thing is passed. Yeah.
So that would be good for men, right? I mean, that would favor men more or less.
For sure. That's why it didn't get passed in the first place.
Well, wait. So, Israel's been doing this for a long time, right? You know that, everybody, no matter man or woman, whatever, you go to the army for X amount of time, X amount of years.
A lot of countries are like that.
Yeah. Well, we are out of time. Any last words, folks?
Vote for the ERA.
You dick. Oh, man. So we might extend this a little bit more, maybe next Thursday or something like that, and consolidate the shows. So look forward to that. And I'll catch you guys later. Thanks, Lux. Thanks, Jet. Peace.
Thanks, man. Bye, everybody.